As a wide-eyed kid, Martel's fascination with professional wrestling was sparked by her mother, who treated her and her sister to a series of electrifying shows in Mississippi. The choice had been theirs: wrestling or ice skating. Little did they know that fateful decision would set Martel on a path that would define her future. Years later, in 1974, a determined Martel sought out Grizzly Smith's expertise, only to be met with skepticism. Smith, a seasoned veteran, challenged her commitment, telling her to return when she was older and wiser. Undeterred, Martel went on to build a life, marrying and having a son named Jared, but ultimately her marriage ended in divorce. It was during this tumultuous period that her passion for wrestling reignited, and she began training under the guidance of Memphis's own Mr. Personality, Butch Moore. Initially, she stepped into the ring as Sherri Martel, but soon realized she needed more polish. Her search for excellence led her to the fabulous Moolah's esteemed school, where her mentor not only rechristened her Sherri Martel, but also sent her to hone her skills in Japan in 1981. However, Moolah's tutelage was short-lived, as Martel's penchant for late-night revelry and partying reportedly got her kicked out of the school. Following her departure from the wrestling school, she embarked on a journey back to her roots in Tennessee. In Memphis, she fell under the guidance of the seasoned Jim Cornette. However, her momentum was temporarily derailed when she sustained an injury during a thrilling mixed battle royal. Undeterred, Martel adapted by taking on a dual role, both stepping into the ring as a wrestler and guiding the careers of Pat Rose and Tom Pritchard as their manager. Once she had fully recovered, the influential Larry Zbyszko played a pivotal role in facilitating her entry into the American Wrestling Association. Finally, on September 28, 1985, Martel made her highly anticipated AWA at the iconic Superclash event in Chicago. Candice Maria Rummel, better known by her ring name, Candi Devine, burst onto the wrestling scene on January 1, 1959, in the vibrant city of Nashville, Tennessee. Her journey began as a devoted fan, running a fan club for the charismatic Lanny Poffo, which earned her the affectionate nickname Fang Face, due to her distinctive smile. As she honed her skills, she took on a brief stint as a ring girl for ICW in Kentucky and even published her own newsletter, The Leap. Devine's ring premiere came in 1980 when she faced off against Ann Jennett in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The following years saw her engage in a thrilling rivalry with Diane von Hoffman, aka Moondog Fifi, in Canada from 1983 to 1985. However, their intense feud took a dramatic turn in 1994 when Moondog Fifi bested Devine for her title in Evansville, Indiana. Tragedy struck in 1985 when Devine suffered a devastating injury in Memphis, colliding head-on with Amy Monroe during a Daring Monkey flip. The brutal accident left her with a fractured jaw and cheek, requiring extensive recovery time and plastic surgery to repair the damage. For a moment, Devine considered hanging up her boots, but her passion for wrestling ultimately prevailed. Devine's wrestling legacy is forever etched in the annals of the American Wrestling Association, where she engaged in a series of epic showdowns with the formidable Sherri Martel. Her impressive resume boasts 4 reigns as AWA Women's Champion, a testament to her skill and tenacity in the ring. One of her most notable achievements came in 1984, when she emerged victorious from a fiercely contested battle royal to claim the vacant title, solidifying her position as a force to be reckoned with in the world of women's wrestling. Larry Nelson is now paired with the enigmatic Sherri Martel, who bears an uncanny resemblance to a DC comic superheroine in her vibrant red and yellow attire. This is Sherri before she transforms into the fierce Take No, Prisoners Champion we know. For now, she exudes a quiet confidence. As the reigning ladies champion, Sherri won the title in a thrilling battle royal back in 1984. But is that really Candi Devine standing across from her? Or is it Emmy-winning actress Jane Krakowski? Sherri's arrogance and overconfidence have driven her to pursue Candi relentlessly, and tonight, she's determined to prove her superiority. As Sherri makes her way to the ring, the camera cuts to the electrified crowd, then to Candi Devine, resplendent in her flowing black robe. It seems the theme of this event is to have one wrestler make a dramatic entrance down the baseball field, followed by a quick cut to the fans, some B-roll footage, and then back to the opposing wrestler's entrance. Let's hope this wasn't the broadcast format for the closed-circuit audience. Sherri proclaims that tonight she'll finally face off against Candi and reclaim her belt. But before the match can even begin, Chaos erupts in the outfield as Reagans and Regal engage in a fierce brawl. Reagans hoists Regal onto his shoulders and slams him onto grass, taking a punishing bump. It appears Yours truly wants his wrestlers to put their bodies on the line tonight. Regal sells the pain, clutching his back as he limps away to the dugout, belt in hand. Check out that championship belt. It looks like a reject from a high school metal shop project. Meanwhile, Sherri Martel is bringing the heat, and Larry Nelson can't help but notice. He's always been a bit of a ladies' man, as he confesses in his book Stranglehold. Let's just say he's not exactly discerning in his tastes, and his radar is always on the lookout for available women. The referee tries to give Sherri a pat down, but she's having none of it. Her indignant screams are comedy gold. This is Sherri at her finest refusing to submit to a full-body search like she's at airport security. The bell rings, and we're underway in the ladies' title match. Candi Devine takes the early advantage with a slick arm drag, leaving Sherri fuming. Larry Nelson chimes in, reminding us that Sherri is the #1 contender. No kidding, considering this is a title match. Sherri regains control with a wrist lock, but things get shady when she grabs Candi's hair to take her down. The ref calls her out on it, explaining that hair pulling is a no. No. Wait, what? Since when did wrestling become a hair-pulling free zone? Didn't our female grapplers used to rely on hair, grabbing to deliver those sweet snap-mares? Good thing they don't use nail polish as a weapon, or we'd have a real mess on our hands. The action erupts as Candi's arm takes a brutal hit, prompting Sherri to unleash a flurry of punches to break free. The referee's lack of intervention is baffling. Did they miss the closed fist strike or turn a blind eye? Sherri seizes the opportunity, delivering a vicious head knocker between Candi's knees, but her own momentum sends her tumbling to the mat. As she struggles to regain her footing, Sherri whips her under the top rope, prompting Larry to pipe up about the potential for automatic disqualification if Candi had been tossed over the top. But before the dust settles, Candi lands a perfect drop kick, sending Sherri flying over the top rope in a stunning display of athleticism. Wait, shouldn't that be a disqualification? The commentators are left scratching their heads, with Nelson shrugging off the non-call and Larry muttering to himself about the unclear ruling. It's a one-man show, with Larry's non-stop commentary threatening to outlast the match itself. His motor mouth is a marvel, but you can't help but wonder if he'll collapse from exhaustion the moment the camera's cut off. As the show wraps up, Larry's probably dreaming of a quiet nap amidst the empty bleachers, while the janitor sweeps up the remnants of the chaotic bout. The Candi repeats for good measure. The crowd winces as Candi clamps on a Boston crab, Sherri's frantic tapping a testament to her desperation. But in this era of wrestling, submissions aren't enough to end the match, and the referee remains unmoved. Sherri manages to reverse the hold, flipping Candi into a sunset flip that yields a near fall. Undeterred, Sherri follows up with a leg drop that sends Candi's throat crashing to the mat. A slam and a cover later, Sherri's only rewarded with a single count. Martel retaliates by booting Candi out of the ring, sending her tumbling onto the pitching mound dirt. The black singlet is now caked with dust, a testament to the brutality of this bout. Candi claws her way back into the ring, only to be met with a running knee that sends her crashing back down. The crowd gasps as Candi grabs Sherri's leg, yanking her out of the ring and wrapping it around the ring post. The two women tumble to the grass, Sherri's body bouncing off the unforgiving turf. Back in the ring, Candi seizes Sherri's wrist, applying a diabolical armbar that has the crowd wincing in sympathy. The hold is a masterclass in leverage, with Candi's foot pressing under Sherri's arm and another at her neck, threatening to dislocate her shoulder. Sherri somehow manages to roll free, taking control with a flurry of strikes. The commentary team is in overdrive, with Nelson's non-stop chatter a stark contrast to the silence that might otherwise fill the air. It's as if he's terrified that a moment of quiet might lull him into a coma. The action spills on, with Sherri cinching in a headlock and peppering Candi with punches. An Irish whip sends Candi crashing into the ropes, but she attempts a sunset flip, only to be backdropped by Sherri in a stunning display of strength. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, sensing that this match could go either way. Sherri unleashes a soaring lariat, catching Candi off guard and sending her crashing to the mat. The crowd winces as Candi struggles to regain her footing, only to be met with a vicious vertical suplex from Martel. But the real cringe. Worthy moment comes when Martel attempts a daring splash from the top rope, only to land with a thud, her body awkwardly splayed across Candi's prone form. It's a move that's equal parts flying knee drop and face, Plant earning it the unofficial title of the top rope tumble. Despite the sloppy execution, Sherri's determination pays off, and she claims the AWA World Ladies Wrestling Championship from Candi Devine in a grueling 11-minute and 45. Second match. As the referee raises her hand in victory, Sherri revels in her newfound title, mercilessly pummeling Candi's head with the belt while she lies helpless on the canvas. The crowd boos, but Sherri doesn't care. She's the champion, and she'll do whatever it takes to stay on top. Sherri's anxiety is palpable as she steps up to the mic, her promo exuding a sense of unease. But before the bell can ring, Reingens bursts onto the scene, sending Regal crashing to the ground near the bullpen, igniting a frenzy of cheers from the crowd. Sherri's frustration boils over as the referee attempts to inspect her for foreign objects, her protests escalating into a full-blown tantrum. She's channeling her inner Iron Mike Sharpie, berating anyone who dares to cross her path. Unfortunately, the match itself falls flat, meandering through a series of disconnected sequences with no discernible narrative or build. The prolonged bout only adds to the sense of monotony, leaving the audience underwhelmed.